So, to the event. Once again, the 4th of January, 2007, New Japan Pro Wrestling presents Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome. The first match... Actually, I'm going to look this back up. I've got it over here. This is what they call it. This is the beautiful English of New Japan World. That's a term, I'm not being racist. Get off my back. Okay, here we go. Tokyo Dome first match. Welcome to Tokyo Dome. New Year Funny Waltz. That's what it's called, New Year Funny Waltz. So, in the New Year Funny Waltz, otherwise known to us curmudgeons as just a 6-man tag team match, Ryusuke Taguchi, El Samurai, and Masanobu Fuchi versus Kikutaro, Akira Raijin, and Nobutaka Araya. So, again, like I said, let me give you some context here surrounding what's going on at the time with these guys. On the New Japan team, we've got Taguchi. He's on his way up at this point as a junior heavyweight. Last year is the first time that he won the Junior Tag Team Championship. That was with El Samurai, who of course is in this match as well. Samurai is a veteran. He's got 2 IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championships in his locker. And he's one of the few to hold the J Crown. So he's winding down his career at this point. And then their third partner is actually... It's not really a New Japan team because Fuchi is an All Japan junior heavyweight legend. During those 90s, what do they call it? King's Road matches in the 90s in All Japan. Fuchi was, he didn't have a lot of. They very much focused on the heavyweight division at that time. So Fuchi held the junior title with relative ease. And had just ridiculous reigns of thousands of days. But he was very much involved, especially in the tag matches. He'd be fighting alongside Taue and Kawada. And, those tag matches they would do were phenomenal. So he's getting on now, though. He's a little bit older, but absolute legend. So... Speaking of All Japan, let's talk about the other team. We've got Kikutaro, who's the masked, very exaggerated, is an alter ego of the person under the mask. Of course, he's very goofy, but also self-important. He wears coloured tracksuits and baseball caps and has a mask that must be hard to see from underneath. But yeah, he's just kind of a parody. He's a parody character. He kind of just makes fun of pro wrestling, which I kind of like. It's one of my things that there's so many silly things, silly rules, or, rules that have just become rules and have become outdated, but we keep them because that's what pro wrestling is. And, oh, look, there's a helicopter. Good on you. He is, very much a comedy wrestler. And then Raijin he's a fairly young up-and-comer at the time, and Araya, the third partner on the All Japan team, something of a journeyman across the 90s with limited success. Just kind of making up the numbers, to be honest. But for those of you playing at home, if anyone's got this pulled up on New Japan World and wanted to know who's who, Taguchi, you might recognize, is got an ill-advised afro at the moment, but it looks the same otherwise. He starts the match against Raijin, who's got the blonde mohawk. Fuchi is the old guy on the New Japan side. Araya is the stouter gentleman, to put it politely. And Samurai, of course, in the black mask. And then you can't miss Kikutaro. He's got definitely the most ridiculous outfit we're going to see on this show. and maybe of all time, anyway. But that's who they are. Let's get into the match. So, as I said, it was Taguchi starting with Raijin, and the crowd's still filing in, so it's not overly raucous at this point. Next in's Kikutaro against Fuchi, and Kikutaro is very animated, as referred to previously. He applauds Fuchi's clean break, but then when he's got the opportunity to break himself, he doesn't do it cleanly at all. Fuchi pushes him back into the ropes, and Kikutaro counts the break himself, and then he squabbles with the referee over the count, who slaps him across the head, and the crowd laughs at that. And then Fuchi kicks Araya a couple of times, because he's not particularly intimidated by the man in pink, it seems, Kikutaro. But then Kikutaro gets Fuchi down. But every time he goes for the cover, and the referee counts to 1, or goes to count like the first 1, he pops back up. And then he'll go down again and cover Fuchi again, and the referee goes down to make the count, and he pops back up. And this happens several times before the referee's had enough, and he kicks him in the head. Kicks him in the head. The crowd laugh at that too. It's funny. It's so unexpected. The referee really does not have any time at all for Kikutaro's antics. But then Fuchi sets Kikutaro up in the corner in a very compromising position. He tags in El Samurai, who gets too close and cops an eye poke, and then a low blow. Samurai answers back similarly. The referee cops a low blow from Kikutaro, who then tags out. Samurai takes clotheslines in the corner from everyone except Araya, who he kicks every time. And Araya's teammates try to help him connect by swinging him into the corner with a bit more speed, but it doesn't work. Kikutaro just... Fuchi's in the corner. It's Samurai in the corner. And he's just keeps kicking Araya every time he comes in. Cops clotheslines from the other two, kicks Araya. And then Kikutaro just gets sick of Araya failing, so he turns on him in frustration, kicks Araya while he's down. Evidently, Araya is only in this match to get kicked. That's all he contributes to the whole match. But it's kind of a running theme that's pretty funny. And then Samurai and Raijin resume a somewhat normal match, which Raijin gets the better of. Kikutaro and Taguchi get tagged in and go chop for chop. Kikutaro attempts to distract Taguchi by pointing away, but Taguchi just slaps him and continues his attack. And, perhaps important to note that Taguchi is indeed the owner of a funky weapon at this time, and he advertises it appropriately with his swiveling hips. There's a moonsault attempt by Kikutaro that misses, but he hits a shining wizard and does actually try a legitimate pinfall attempt, but it's kicked out of. And then Kikutaro has Taguchi in a headlock, kind of ready for a suplex, and he's ready he's yelling at the crowd as he has Taguchi there, and he throws a few knees to the body just to keep Taguchi in place. The crowd are cheering or laughing at whatever he's saying, but he's talking forever, and he's obviously stalled too long, because as soon as he actually goes for the suplex, he gets suplexed. And then there's a big missile drop kick that nearly beats him too, but Kikutaro's teammates make the save, and then Fuchi throws him on his head with a back suplex. Samurai drops him with the reverse DDT, and Taguchi lands Dodon, the face buster, to finish Kikutaro and win the match. So, not that makes much of a difference really, but it was just a silly opening match, but Taguchi gets the win over Kikutaro, Kikutaro being the star of this match, despite being the one that lost. I thought he was genuinely funny. He made me laugh several times the first time I watched this match, and even since then. That stuff with the referee, I don't know. I know it's so hokey and dopey, and I don't know. I think it has its place if it's done well. and despite me not even understanding what he's saying, his physical comedy is worthwhile for me. So I enjoyed it. I thought that was a good match. Not necessarily one to go out of your way for, though.